out on the space travel duel? America finally learned what a pangolin is. And is anyone really that surprised that two proud queer men dominated the Real Housewives category? I know I am not. We will talk about this and more on this week's Floor Recap. Welcome to Reality Redux with Angie and friends. Tonight's friends are Tony and Bradley from season 3 and the Hopecast Network's very own Brad Lowe. Hello, everybody.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hi.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
I'm excited because Bradley and Tony are here, and Tony's our loyal listener, so I'm always gonna. Although all fair, she was talking about another podcast, which is making me sad on the inside that we thought we were her number one.
Yeah, but the other one that shall remain unnamed.
Yeah, we're not gonna name it. We're not gonna promote
We're
it.
beefing like that.
We're definitely not.
We're gonna flex our pod muscles tonight, and we're gonna get to some really nitty gritty stuff. This was a fantastic week of battles, and we are going to go back to our roots. And rather than trying to invite the entire floor gang to chat over one another, we're going to keep it short, small, and simple with our two guests tonight as we recap season 3, episode 6. And it was a good ride. I think I'll just start off and get us started so we can get through the episodes, but all along the way we'll unpack them and dish. And I think both Brad and I have some bones to pick with things that might be happening this season or ways the show might improve. So I do know that Brian, who can blame him, decided to go back to the floor after beating poor Wyatt in directors at the end of last week. So of course Brian has inherited rodeo, and he's like, oh heck no, I'm going back to the floor. Thank you very much. Come at me. Try to take my money. And lo and behold, surprise, surprise, he doesn't come back up in the episode. But duel 1, we end up with that randomizer again, right? And we've got the first duel of the night. It was okay. What did you guys think? It was Michelle with 500 games.
But first off, let's change the name of the show to Give Brian Money. And
Give Brian money.
Yes. Yeah.
Give Brian money. And second, the lady didn't know Tom Hanks. I mean, come on now. How do you not know Tom Hanks?
I know. He is the most famous white man in American history.
One of them. He's one of them.
I'm saying, and more than any president, I guarantee if you were going to do one of those Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader shows or stop random people in a crosswalk and show them pictures of Abe Lincoln or Tom Hanks, they're going to know Tom Hanks every day of the week. I mean, he is America's dad. I was shocked that she missed that one. But again, deer in the headlights, randomizer got her. She's scared. I get it. But still, Tom Hanks, even Rob had to poke fun at that.
Well, okay, my son, who's 12, says this. Bradley, see if you agree with me on this one. He said the stay-at-home moms, because she said anytime we see a stay-at-home mom, they're terrible. They're no good on here. They always lose. And we had 2 stay-at-home moms this episode.
Oh, gosh.
No, wait. Let's be fair.
Stay-at-home fiance.
Was it Jamila? Was it stay-at-home fiance?
Correct.
Oh, a stay-at-home fiance.
I've never seen that as a descriptor before. But
Did that say that? Did that really say that? My mind just said mom. Like I didn't even see fiance. Who is a stay-at-home fiance? Oh my gosh,
That was
that's
the whole
best
shtick.
life.
Yeah, she
that
even
was
showed
so
the
random.
ring.
Yeah, I mean, we're all jealous.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah,
that's a
she
power
was.
move. That's a
It
power
was.
move on her end.
Yeah,
It's
Like
a smart move.
so.
People will talk about her. They'll know her now for that. Like she
Yeah.
did the right
They
thing.
They
Yeah.
really,
Ma-
really will.
I want to marry you, but I'm going to stay home.
She flashed her bling.
Yeah.
She mentioned that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach or something like that.
That is true.
Her
That's
ring
true.
was
It
so
is
nice in real life. I was like, girl,
It
flash
is.
it,
It is. It's a nice ring.
please.
Oh, I bet.
Tears
I
from
bet.
my blood.
It blind. You know what? Maybe that's what happened. That wasn't her duel, but maybe her attempt was to blind the competition with her bling. Those lights are pretty darn bright on the stage. You never know. But yeah, Brad, you're right. She missed Tom Hanks, and I got to be honest. I think the internet people are going to come after the show again and say it's just another "Can you name the star" show because they're finding more and more celebrity. Name the celebrity categories just under different guises now. We had basically 2 of them this week. We had the Stars with Stars, and then we had the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and then of course Real Housewives. But we can talk about the Bravo Celebrity days later. But yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was a difficult battle. What did you guys think when you were on the floor watching those A-listers with their stars popping up? Did you feel like you were kind of rolling with it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that Tom Hanks was passed on. I will say I was before it was called, I think it was called like Hall of Fame or like Hollywood something. So when I saw on TV it was called Stars on Stars, I was like, oh, okay, this is different. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Priscilla ate that up.
Yeah, I think we all know, and I love everybody. So I'm gonna say a really probably messed up comment, but I need everybody to know I love you, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all. I'm just salty because I lost. I think some people got layups this season, and some people did not. I,
100%.
for instance,
Some people
did-
had a full court press, and
I-
other people had a layup with all the time in the world.
Yeah, just, and what I mean by layup for those, for people who may not know what I mean, you had an easy duel. Your duel was easy. That's fine. That ain't to insult nobody. I know full hand. I passed like 4 times in my duel. I know that pressure is crazy, but I versed someone who didn't pass 1 time. I was losing the moment I stepped up there, and so when I looked at her duel, and I'm just like, come on, like, please, like, I want this. I would have crushed that. And that's what everyone on the floor does, I think. They go, man, I would have done better. I would have said that. I wouldn't have passed. I feel like, I mean, I think I looked at Tony a couple of times and I was like, this is some BS. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
I mean, some people said that about my math duel, that like Shannon got all the really hard ones.
No,
But
that's stupid.
honestly, I was like,
They're all
They're even.
multiplication.
multiplication.
Yeah, they're even. She got 1
Like-
times 1, you got 2 times 1. Oh man, she
Like,
got
oh,
like
I
stop.
don't know.
Yeah, that's silly. That's silly.
I was mad that you were passing because I want you to win, you and Tony, and I was like, no, I was like, Max, there's Bradley. He's got the best name on the show.
Yeah.
I want him to win, and like, I was
Oh.
like, man,
So that's why I avoided.
you got some tough ones though. I'll give it to you. You did get some
Oh.
tough ones.
Let's just tell you what the consensus is right now. I've done my research. Everyone agrees. I talked to Kimberly herself. Everyone agrees I got the harder pictures. Why they did that to me? No idea. I still love them to death, but mine were ridiculous. Like, deodorant, soap,
I gotta
toothbrush,
say-
and then me, cuticle trimmer, nail
I
brush.
gotta say, Bradley,
Like,
Bradley, I really think that, I tell my friend Jennifer from season 2 all the time. I'm like, girl, have you got a bean contract yet? Have you got a contract with beans? Yeah.
I mean, I only know
You gotta
Jennifer's
be selling
beans.
some beans, right? Bradley, you need to get a cotton swab Q-tip contract today.
Yeah, he did stare at that.
Everything's a freaking Q-tip.
Everything's
I
a
love you
Q-tip.
to death, but I was like, son, that is not a Q-tip. That's a water pick. Son, that is not a Q-tip. But it was like your go-to guess, and I got it. You were in the zone, but I was like, give that man a cotton swab contract today because you would just like slay it. I'm
Was this
serious.
is this the category where the lady said hummus for a sponge? Which one was
Pumice.
that?
She said
a
pumice.
pumice,
With
like
a
a
I,
pumice song.
she said hummus. We all were like, that's hummus. Even Jacob came over tonight. He goes, how about that lady that said hummus? And I'm like, I know. He's like, she knows she can't eat. She knows she eats hummus, right? It's not that.
Yeah, no, it was a sea
I-
sponge or a sponge, I guess. But
Sponge.
yeah, okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. She probably did say hummus. I'm trying to
Oh,
protect you.
100%. You
Kimberly,
can. She
I'm
said
helping you.
hummus.
I'm on your side.
Well,
Thank you.
I
Sorry,
will
what was I saying?
say those categories seem easy, like toiletries and kitchen appliances, but those were the categories I was trying to avoid because
Yeah.
those general categories, especially like me, like I call everything like a doohickey. I'll call like, you know what I mean? Like I call everything that I
Thingamabob.
want, like
Yeah.
a thingamabob. But like celebrities, they only have that name, so it's like
Yeah.
easier, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was really trying to avoid Kimberly. I was trying to avoid Jamila. So I'm glad that those categories were out of the way.
Well, I think you're right. Obviously, the more general the knowledge, the tougher the competition across the board.
Yeah,
Everybody's
Correct.
game. Everybody's been in a bathroom. Everybody's been in a kitchen. You don't have to
Exactly.
be a chef to know most of those appliances, but not everybody is a poet, and not everybody is, an
Yeah.
oceanographer
Yeah.
or something. Not that, what's his? I forgot his name now. Spencer.
the oceanography was
Shane.
hard.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
he's an
hard.
influencer type, but he seemed to know his stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But in general, I agree with you, Tony. I mean, there's some you should just kind of keep an eye on, and others that you feel are very niche.
And also
And-
with like I noticed with general stuff, they have like more specific names. You can't just say spoon. You have to say like dish spoon or like you have to say.
Well, that's what
it's-
happened with my duel, right? When I
Yeah.
said brush, and then
Yeah.
everybody like, I'm like, you didn't
Nail
hear
brush.
that, but then
Nail
everyone
brush, bro.
gasped. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No one. You're the only person who knew that, Angie. I'm going to tell you that now because everybody online is like, why didn't I get that?
Look at these nails. We're live
Yeah,
right now.
see?
Look at these nails. There's
Yeah.
nothing under these nails. I got a
Yeah,
nail
yeah.
brush.
And that's very nice, but you know who doesn't? Most people, when you think of toiletry, and that's the thing to Tony's point, is like those categories, like travel accessories, for example. Whenever that one pops up, if it does pop up, that one will also be difficult because you can't be an expert in toiletries. You either know toiletry, you either know what toilet paper is, or you don't. Like you can't study that. And that was the thing. So I thought, you know what, this is easy. I've been on here for a while. You know, like whatever happens, happens. So I picked her.
Well,
and, you know,
and is that even a toiletry, right? This all comes back to just consistency and actual language and accuracy. A toiletry.
Yeah.
A toothbrush isn't really a toilet. I mean, to me, toilet. I don't know. I don't even know if a nail brush is toiletry.
I agree with you. I didn't consider a cuticle trimmer to be a toiletry either. Like so like when I started like a breath strip is also not a toiletry to me. So I was
you
like,
keep it in your purse. It is not.
Right. It's not a toiletry.
Ironically, the guy that worked at Kennedy Space Center did not know what a space toilet was, and I kept going. I'm like space toilet. It looked like a crapper to me, so I'm like, it's got to be a space toilet.
Oh yeah. Oh, we'll get to him too.
Yeah, their duels make me feel better.
So we skipped to Bradley, which is fine because obviously Stars with Stars went the way it went, and Priscilla went back. She's inherited Backyard Games. We'll see when.
Awesome.
Actually, I'm really hoping that Jarts makes it in the Backyard Games category.
I did play some Jarts. I played some Jarts.
I think those other folks are too young to remember that. They were
Jarts are dangerous
because they kill people.
Yeah,
they're lawn darts, but they basically imagine throwing a spear at your opponent. And your opponent's standing in a hula hoop, and you're trying to get it in the hula hoop, and you impale them. Basically, people died. It was bad.
I had Jarts. I played Jarts back in the 80s.
Yeah, it was the death trap of the 80s. Brad and I survived. That's why we have a podcast now. We've been rewarded.
We survived. I lost my leg, but other than that, I'm good.
Google it. JAR.
No, I just did. That's an insane game.
I'm looking at it right now.
I've never played that.
I want to say one thing about Bradley one more time. My favorite line of the whole night.
I don't say it.
Came out, and my son was laughing. And Jacob pointed out to me, he said, I can't lose my Bradley. And I was just like, this is my favorite line of the whole. I want to say this every time I'm on now.
You know, what's cool is when I lost my duel, I didn't expect the amount of messages I got that went, everyone so far that got eliminated, you're the only person that seems to have so many people who are sad you're gone. I thought that because I didn't notice that at my time on the floor, right? Like I'm just like mad and disappointed. Right. I don't see it. But when I watched it back and I went, wait a minute, this is you ever watch like The Bachelor? Like this is my edit. Like I get The Bachelor edit. I was like, this is awesome. Like, so I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah.
It was cool. What line did you think I was going to say? What line did you think I was going to pull up?
Oh, calling cuticle trimmers pliers.
Oh, no, that was funny. No. I just like cool. I can't lose my Bradley. And I was like, I wish my wife would say that every now and then. Okay.
I was equally sad. After, so then Kimberly, after, she made Bradley go away, she decides to hang on for a while, probably because she inherited poetry and maybe wasn't prepared to defend it right away. She went and decided to go against Alex in natural history. Now, this is one of those categories I have to say when we talk about consistency, inconsistency on the show. You've got an example of a T-Rex having dinosaur accepted for it, but later a Stegosaurus shows up and Alex has to say Stegosaurus. I don't think if he'd said dinosaur, it would have been accepted. So again, we've got this problem where you get a generic for one, but a specific for another. And I just think that's something they need to work on. But pangolin, I do have to say, I texted Alex this morning. He's going to be on next week, folks. He couldn't make it tonight. I can't wait to talk to him about his run. But I said, I had a dream last night that there was a family of pangolins living under my deck. By the way, I don't have a deck. And that my dog had befriended them, and I didn't continue with the story because to save him bandwidth in his brain. But they had pangolin puppies, and it was the cutest, weirdest little creature I'd ever seen. But I hadn't given a pangolin a second of thought since learning about it, probably in some random elementary school project. And so I was so thrilled to see little fun creatures like that pop up in the public consciousness. But I thought it was an interesting category. It was new. It was kind of a hodgepodge category, wasn't it? It was a little bit all over the place.
I thought it was interesting that they said they allowed dinosaur for T-Rex, and then Stegosaurus had to be specific.
Like that's one thing that I've noticed a lot. And when we go to the subreddits and we're doing all this Googling about the show, all 3 seasons, I mean, season 1 maybe gets a pass because they were still trying things out, but 2 and 3, it's like we're still talking about this consistency thing.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm just, and I just always go back, what's the criteria? Because even I'd like to know what's behind the sauce. Like, who's
Yep.
making that
And
decision?
even then, like, even though producers talk to you before your duel about like what is allowed and what's not allowed, even then there's not consistencies, because for my fantasy film duel, they said you just need the franchise name, you don't need the specific movie. And then I say Harry Potter, it doesn't ding. Right. And then I'm like, oh crap, I have to say the full thing. And that was like, Harry Potter is the only franchise that I know all the movies of. But if they did like
Wow.
6, 7, and 8, no, here's the thing. If they did 6, 7, and 8, like I wouldn't have known the difference between them, like Half-Blood Prince or whatever. But when it came to like Lord of the Rings, I don't know Fellowship, The Hobbit, I don't know any of that
Right.
stuff.
Right.
So I was really nervous. Like you can see my demeanor change a little bit because I was like, if they are going to do that to me to another movie, it's over.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I would think the T-Rex you should say T-Rex and the Stegosaurus could be dinosaur, because I feel like the Stegosaurus is a harder pull than a T-Rex.
T-Rex. I mean, everybody
Everyone knows a
knows
T-Rex.
dinosaur, you do think of T-Rex. I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah,
like.
I don't think this, but I don't know Stegosaurus.
Yeah, but I think on them, like, they're the ones who put all the clues in. So if you only had one dinosaur in your entire pool of clues, then fine, accept dinosaur.
Right,
But if you
there's
throw
more
in
than one.
9 dinosaurs, then you
Right.
can't have one be dinosaur, then
Right.
the other 8. Like, and then who determines
Yeah.
which one gets to be
Right.
the dinosaur? Like,
I'm
so-
completely anticipating dinosaurs being a category in season 4.
Right.
Not gonna lie.
Oh,
I-
that
I'm
would be a
expecting
category, honestly.
Well, it's
Yeah,
kind of
that'd
like
be cool.
Bradley. It's kind of like if someone's on the floor and they're doing floor contestants and they show a picture of Angie and they go floor,
Floor.
and then they show Tony and they go floor, and they're like, no, you got to say Tony, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, Tony. It's the
Right.
same thing. Like
Or they look at
Angie's.
you and they say human. Or they
Yeah,
say
human.
person. It's like, no, say who they
Come
are,
on.
proper noun. Like,
Or
Yeah.
you gotta say
Wow.
first name's fine one, and then the next one you gotta say the full name.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
got a long full
Yes.
name. You can't say it twice.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
I also thought some of the clues were weird. I did not recognize a tadpole. I kind of thought it was the spermatozoa, and I thought that's not in the Natural History Museum. Just saying. I had a moment. I was like, "What did they put up there?" Anyway, it was a little weird for me. But
Yeah.
anyway, Alex pulled it off, and that started him on his run. Right
Oh, yeah.
after that, on Duel 4, he picks up with Jamila, the stay-at-home fiance, with The Rock and a Heart of Gold.
Is she the one who wanted the Brazilian butt lift? Which one was that
No,
one?
that's Kimberly. That's who I
Kimberly.
lost to. Yeah, that
Kimberly.
was Kimberly.
That's
Yeah.
the comment that I thought you were gonna mention.
What
Oh,
is
yeah.
Tony? What is the Brazilian butt lift?
Yes, Tony. Apparently, Tony, we think you know.
Yeah, I can't answer
glad
that
they-
question. Go ahead, Tony.
So it's where you take the fat from your stomach and you transfer it to your butt, so that way you have a flatter stomach and then a bigger butt.
You
and they
can
also
do
like
that?
lift it. Yeah, you
tap.
can do that.
Yeah.
That's like a Frankenstein.
And it's one of the most like riskiest surgeries ever. Like
Wow.
there's a huge death rate with that, but it's like the
Oh,
most
a huge death rate. Why would you
Yeah.
do it
And it's
then?
very painful.
More,
It's a
is it
painful
more
recovery.
deadly? Is it more
can't-
deadly than jarts?
You can't sit for like what, a month?
You
So it's-
can't sit
wild.
for a month.
Maybe I over exaggerate, but you can't sit for a while. So it's
Okay.
You get a
But once
Brazilian wax with it too. Like if you get
Oh my God.
All
they throw in the wax for free.
But once it heals,
But
once it heals.
Tony, I mean, I'm asking you as if you have one, but is there scars on the derriere, or is it like, are you getting a J-Lo butt with this?
I'm sure it's
or-
under the crease, like the
It's
thigh
under the crease.
Just
Yeah,
like
it's
with a
under the
boob job,
crease.
they go under the boob.
And then
crease. It's
also
probably a butt
sometimes
crease.
like the people that were like skinny before, like you can tell because their legs don't match.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have a big butt and then they have like tiny legs.
I would rather have a
Right.
gut than risk dying over
I
a
would
butt.
rather just kill it at the gym for like 2 years.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
You know, yes, I tell my daughter all the time. I say, look, honey, God doesn't just put like fat cells where it's sexy. Okay, like that's not natural. Like you're not going to see somebody with like J size boobies and like the skinniest waist and skinniest legs and thigh gaps and then like this big booty. It's just like there's something that happened there that was not natural. Now, God bless if that's how you like it and you can afford it. You do you, live your best
See-
life. But
see,
that
I
is
think
And then
that's
also,
where-
if you
scary
gain
stuff right
weight,
there.
if you
That's
gain weight
scary.
after your BBL, the fat doesn't go to your stomach anymore. It goes to your arms and it goes to your face. It goes like everywhere
See?
else.
See?
So it's just, yeah.
It
See, I think I'm
finds
the
a way.
super. I'll be
It
the
finds a way.
superficial one of this podcast. Hey, if I had $20 billion, inject me. Like, let me have muscles. Put it where you want. Give me calves. Give me biceps. Like, put it in there. Like, if
You
I'm
know
rich,
that's the
I'm gonna
thing,
do what I
right?
want. Right? Yeah.
Guys
I'm
are
doing
getting
it. I'm just
neck
poor.
implants. Guys are getting shoulder implants.
Well, they're
guys are
weird.
getting all
And like
kinds of
leg
stuff.
implants so they can be taller.
Yes.
That's weird. Well, that's weird.
Okay, let me ask y'all this.
Like,
Sorry.
Since we're talking about this, let me ask you: would you rather get a check every month for $100,000 for 20 years, or for the rest of your life, you can eat as much as you want, whatever you want, and you never gain a pound? You always look amazing.
Money
money.
all day.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
I
yeah,
can
that's easy.
exercise.
Yeah, I would be 600 pounds, but really rich.
I've got willpower, but I have no money. I will do
Right.
the money. Thank you.
It's
very
I'd
much.
have that Brian money, man. I'd be like, I got
We
$100,000.
don't want
Yeah,
to talk
you
about
can
that.
pay.
We don't want to talk about that anymore. Every time
Okay,
he
we're
blinks-
gonna get through.
Yeah, let's get through it.
Yeah, so Alex beats Jamila in the kitchen appliances. That's fine. She can go home. She's got a nice rock, and we assume a nice fiance. She'll be happy. Alex takes on Elena. So here's the funny thing. This little corner posse got a lot of screen time this week.
Yes.
The love fest was a
Yeah, we
little
did.
over the top, but I lived it. I know
we
it's
did.
real. Those emotions, they bond. You get tight. There's no joke about it. But it was just like, I thought one of them, I think it's Emily, right? I thought Emily was just going to
Emily.
run screaming from the studio because like everybody around her was just dropping off. And she's like, I just can't handle it. I'm losing it. And so Elena gets plucked from the corner and she had inherited, remember from Hank a couple of weeks ago, she inherited
Yep.
Rock and Roll Hall of Famers. And yet she says she's a singer-songwriter, so it's her jam. And again, we know bluffing's part of the game. Not entirely sure that's what it is. I don't think it said singer-songwriter on her screen, but I could be mistaken.
She is a singer-songwriter.
And she is.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what they
Performs a
called
lot
her
in LA.
on the show. It doesn't really matter. She didn't perform as well as maybe we thought. She blanked on a couple of, I thought, pretty important ones. I think she skipped Slash. She paused on Slash for a long time, I think, or
Yeah.
Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
I think she paused on John Bon Jovi at
Yeah.
the
I
end.
didn't
She was
know
having
John
a
Bon
rough
Jovi.
time.
Hold on. Now I looked at my wife and I said, I thought it was like a prerequisite for every woman to know John Bon Jovi. Like, I could not. I was like, how is this not possible?
I didn't know John Bon Jovi. I felt bad. I was like, oh, I thought he was like, maybe they just showed like a younger picture or something.
I don't know.
But I don't really know. about
No,
her.
it wasn't a. It was a young one.
No,
It was an
no,
older
no,
one.
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry. We
But
can't.
see,
I'm
but
sorry,
I
Lena.
think-
If you even listen to us, we love you, but that was John Bon Jovi all day. But I will say, if she's not a child of the '80s, maybe she missed it. I get that. Bo Diddley, I will say, was the toughest of all of them.
Yeah.
But still,
Yeah.
everybody else was pretty darn recognizable. I thought that was a duel that would have been more neck and neck, honestly.
Wait, I want to say she inherited Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes, from
Correct.
Hank.
She didn't come in here. That's not her category because she took it from Hank, right?
She had iconic duos.
Correct. Yeah, she
Oh,
had
okay.
iconic
Yeah.
duos, which were very similar. You know.
Yeah, Sonny Cher, all
But I
that.
think
Lennon
everybody
McCartney.
has. But I think everybody has to remember, because Brad, to your point, it's kind of twofold with the show. One, the moment you inherit a category and then go back to the floor, as much as our season to me is kind of being pretty cowardly, it is your chances of losing actually go up because now you have a category you didn't plan on having. You don't have your expert category anymore. So I think like if you go back and look at most people who lost, they're all inherited categories. And then two, I
But the
think
thing
when
is that even though you inherit it, it's next to you, so you have time to study a little.
You
bit.
do.
That's-
And by
that's
episode
fine,
6,
but
she absolutely had some time.
But
So
hold on.
risk definitely goes even higher if you stay up there and you play.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Bradley.
Yeah.
If I inherit Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
right.
if we're not if that's the last episode we're recording that day, can I not go back to my hotel room and just crush it
Yes.
constantly?
You absolutely can, but at the end of the day, that's a good and fine example for something like math or rock and roll, but you're going to go home in one night and study all the poetry you can, having never read poetry in your life. We can all sit here and say, oh, we can study
poetry's
it
terrible.
all we want to, but you can only study so much, so many things at one time. You can't study poetry in one night. I will
fair.
wait.
That's
You-
fair, but
you
we
can't
do
do
get
that.
the category
With the-
list prior
You're
to
right. I couldn't, Bradley. You're
100 of
100%.
them. Yeah, you get 100 categories of 100 general things, and you have a few nights to study it. Like I'm just saying, like it.
But then with the less riskier decision to be to stay up on the floor, because then you still have to go against
Yeah.
something that you don't know.
And
but
she said
personally,
as much.
I
She
would.
said she was a singer-songwriter. She's got a corner piece.
Right.
She loved her
Yeah.
corner piece. It was the best move to go back. I wouldn't
Oh, yeah,
question that
corner?
move at all.
Oh, yeah.
I just
Oh, yeah.
question her knowledge
Yeah.
of
What
Hall
I-
of Famers. I mean, we're not talking about obscure singers.
Sure.
And honestly, I thought Ava Longoria for the Walk of Fame was a ridiculous pick. Like, who pulled
Oh,
that out
yeah.
of their bum? That was a
I
novel picture.
I did not know, Bradley. You're probably going to shame me for this. I didn't know Shakira. I didn't know who that was.
What?
I was like, I don't know Shakira. I got 80% right,
See,
and I
Angie,
failed
you see what I'm
Shakira.
saying? You see what I'm saying? It's like, but you know what I will say is the moment you, and Tony, I don't know if you agree with, probably not. You didn't pass one time. You had a ridiculous duel. But I think the moment
I
you
still get to
pass,
pass.
the moment you pass, no one at homes understands the moment you pass. This turns off. Your entire psyche just went out the window because this is a seconds game. When
Yep.
you pass, you something in your mind goes, "Crap, I just lost." And
Yep.
I haven't. I think that's like maybe what we saw because if you notice when she passed, she then proceeded to pass every single
Yep.
time until she
Yeah,
lost.
and then she kind of just like imploded at Steven
Yeah.
Tyler. I mean, she was there for 6 seconds, I think, on Steven Tyler or something. I'm like,
Yeah.
pass, girl, pass. But
I know.
she let it go at that point. And that's
That's
okay.
borderline falling asleep at the wheel. She almost did, but I think she just was like a deer in the headlights at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
but
don't remember-
speaking of seconds, I'm going to say that's a great segue. And Bradley, I'm sorry. Did you want to say something before I moved?
No,
Okay.
no. Go ahead, Angie.
I think the seconds game is the most important part. This isn't just general knowledge, take all day and name the thing. It is a pressure cooker, and that changes a lot. And that's something the couch watchers aren't going to get, and that's fine. You know, like you can't hold people accountable for things they don't know, right? And so you've got to just say, okay, that's your perspective. You don't know how it all works. That's fine. But that's why the time boost, where people will say it doesn't matter, it's 5 seconds, doesn't matter. Even if that 5 seconds ends up being like inconsequential, it's a mental game. And even knowing that somebody basically has a free pass and a half in their pocket gives you a little bit of confidence to say, I'm allowed a freebie here. And I think that's why Alex went for it. He said he needed that edge to go up against Ira. My gripe now, though, is I think the time boost, my team, my season 2 floor folks today were talking about your episode and just talking about the show in general on our WhatsApp chats. And there was a consensus that the time boost does not get enough fanfare. For something that's supposed to be the big thing on the show that people really want to go for, it's just a graphic that goes, time boost. And we're like, we need more than that. Like, we want, like, when you go bowling and you hit a strike and like that graphic is insane. Like we want to see, like, if you win 3 duels, like this animated turkey comes gobbling across, like in bowling, or something, or a clock explodes, or you get this little token that you give to Mr. Lowe when you want to spend it, but something, because it just seems like it's white noise.
I will
now.
say, Angie, like I definitely agree with you. I would say the time boost is more about armor than it is about like genuine like helping you in the game. Because you can, I think I said this last week. Logan lost with the time boost, but people still didn't want to go against her before because just having that edge up is like scary.
Yep,
See,
and I think that's what kept me in for.
I-
as long
And
as I
also,
was in
like
too.
every single person
Brad,
that
I
won
agree
had
with
the
you.
chance to go against me.
I'm about to light it up. I'm
Yeah,
about to light
I
it.
know let's sit back,
This last
everybody.
episode, everybody had the
Yeah.
chance to go against me, and they decided not to. Yes, it's anatomy, but then also I had the time boost, so it was like,
But Tony,
were-
that had nothing to do with your time boost and had everything to do with you. Logan's time boost did not intimidate me at all. You know why?
Really?
Because she inherited that category. So if I had gotten randomized, that would have been my first target. She didn't have enough time to study.
But
She already said
I also inherited anatomy.
you are intimidating. It's you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to explain. The
Oh,
time
okay,
boost
okay.
means nothing. It's you. Everyone was afraid of you.
Yeah.
They weren't afraid of your time boost. I
You got
promise
to
you.
make a
It was
stand.
you.
Like if you combine, and I'm going to let Brad Lowe launch in just a second, but if you can combine getting a time boost with a run,
Yes.
with a demonstrated display of, oh my gosh, this person knows
Mental
something.
aggression.
This is
Yeah.
not
But
an
that's
idiot.
how you get the time boost
That's
by
the-
winning a bunch
yes.
of duels. So that's how you get that reputation of like,
Well,
oh,
and ideally the duels are challenging. If you just won toiletries and then kitchen appliances and then name that fruit,
Exactly.
it might not be as intimidating as math or
Very good point.
stocks. Not
Yeah.
to say that stocks was, ridiculously
Stocks was
hard,
insane.
but it was. People were
Yeah.
afraid of it. Is
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah.
All right, Brad Lowe, are you okay?
Yeah,
Let's go.
I'm listening to all
yeah,
this.
he's ready
and
to talk. I can tell.
I'm listening.
Come on,
Okay, one, can we just go ahead and get to Alex and the time boost?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because-
that's where we're at. Yep.
Okay, because I want to talk about one, Angie. You don't get fanfare for the time boost because even Fox thinks it sucks, and they don't care. They don't care. They do this. They do this as a way for the viewer like myself to go, "Oh, Tony has a time boost. Oh wait, yeah." It doesn't matter. It goes back to what I said last week. It's a dumb advantage. Give us the pass. Bradley, the pass, like me and you agree on the pass. Give
I
us
love
the pass.
Yeah, I love
Fair,
that.
fair. I'm not
Put that in your WhatsApp. Put that in your WhatsApp, Angie, and ask them would they want to pass, and let me know the results of this.
100%.
But-
I will report back.
So Alex, I loved watching Alex play.
You crushed it.
He's probably, Angie was sending me rumors telling me that on the Reddit. She sent me Reddit this week, guys. I looked at it.
Uh-oh.
That this was supposed to be the best episode. I don't think it was the best. I will say it's not the best. I still think episode 2 was really good. But this one wasn't bad. It was way better than usual. Here's the thing. Alex was a great player. But he won the time boost. And nobody was fooled that he did not know Real Housewives.
You didn't fool me. I gotta say.
I was like, look, Alex
did.
definitely knows Housewives. I looked at I would bet my son's life that Alex knew Housewives. I was that confident.
Really?
I was
He
sure.
like, oh, I don't know. I don't know Housewives. So I thought he was just gonna get the time boost and go back to.
He
the floor.
protested too much. He doth protest too much.
Okay.
Right?
He-
yeah, he did.
Twice. He's like,
Second,
"Holy
thank you.
Spirit
He was
of
too
God."
dramatic. Oh, I don't like.
Oh, I
Because
can't
my
take
son was
that
like,
on.
Dad, he definitely knows Housewives. And I'm like, 100% he knows it. But here's the thing. Alex gets the time boost, and this is why it doesn't matter. Because Alex didn't care about the time boost. He was like, I want to show everybody I tricked them. I wish Alex was on the show, because I will bring this up with him next week.
Next week,
Brad,
I'll
he's
be ready, baby.
gonna disagree with you, Brad. Just FYI.
Yeah,
he's gonna
no.
vehemently
He can disagree with me. He can disagree with me, Tony.
Yeah.
But you won the time boost. You weren't that excited to then burn it right for a one space. He didn't even go after Brian. Challenge Brian with your time boost.
So people
In
were talking about
rodeo.
it on the Reddit, and I will say this:
Yeah.
Alex is the type of person, he loves to do things for the fun of it.
He does.
And just imagine, like put yourself in his shoes. Just imagine you see a category that, like, not only you're obsessed with, but somebody on that category you are a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
You'll do anything you can just to do it. And he
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
that 5 seconds.
It was a
with
flex.
the armor and to have a really good duel. Like that.
Yeah.
That was the point, and that's why I love that so much. It wasn't strategy of like, this is what I'm gonna do to win. It
Yeah,
was
for the
just
boost,
like,
yeah.
I want to have a really cool duel with this person that I actually admire.
Yeah, it was a
Because
flex. It was
when
a
he
good
saw
one.
Ira, he was like, "Is that Ira?" Because I mean, Ira's really popular. In
Who
like,
is Ira? Is that the guy he challenged?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
Real
Danny Jones.
Housewives.
He's
He has a
really popular
podcast
in like
on pop
niche,
culture.
niche pop culture and stuff like that. So like when he saw him on the floor before even the show started, he was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm such a huge fan of his," and he's doing reality TV shows. So I need to, like, it would be so iconic if I were to go against him. It wasn't like this is what I'm gonna do to win. This is what I'm gonna do so I can get $250,000. It was just because he wanted to play the game. And
It was like
Okay.
if Heidi had been on the floor, Brad. It's like if Heidi were on the floor and I was the world's biggest Survivor fan. Now I am a huge Heidi fan and I know Survivor, but I would not do well in a duel. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Heidi. Oh my gosh, that's Heidi from Survivor, and she's right next to me, and I'm I'm taking her on. Like the thought that I could win that. Now, I still don't know if I would do it if I'd risk the money, but he didn't risk if he thought he really had a good shot, and he did. really.
But all that sounds amazing. I love this story. Obviously, he is a fan of Ira. But you know who doesn't know that? The everyday guy like me watching it
he
at
explained
home.
it though, but they edited it out. Like
And-
that
okay,
bothered me.
so they edited it out. So then I look at it and go, "This is the stupidest move anyone could make," and I actually rank it as the
I was so
stupidest move
disappointed.
ever on the floor.
I was so disappointed in watching it. I'm even texting them like,
That's
for
crazy.
your duel, they better, like, the editors better do their thing on this because they're gonna make it seem like you just wasted your
Threw it
time
away.
boost.
Yeah.
yeah.
And like this master plan is so dumb. But
Yeah.
like
It
really,
was so dumb.
yeah, but really, it was just like for me, like I'm a huge fan of Elton John. Like I love Elton John music. I love everything. If there was somebody who like I was a fan of, who I knew was in those like Elton John niche spaces or classic rock niche spaces and stuff, and I could do a duel against them after being known as math and all this academic stuff, I would definitely play my cards right and pretend that I don't know anything about 70s music. And then go.
But I would
against them.
believe that, Tony. No offense. Look at you.
Would you do it at the?
Thinking you are not the poster child for an Elton John fangirl. I would believe that. I would not believe Alex knew nothing about Housewives. I wouldn't. I mean, I'm sorry, Alex, but I saw that a mile. The shirt, the bravado, the posture. That guy watches Housewives all day, and he should, and he's good at it. He showed us he knew his stuff.
So
I
he
was
knew
not
it.
shocked.
So that's more what bothered y'all. It wasn't so much about the time boost at all. It was more kind of the over dramatic fanfare of it all.
No, it
Is
was the
that-
time boost for me, Bradley.
Oh, was it the time boost for you?
The con, he wasn't conning. If my 12-year-old looked at him and said, "Daddy knows Housewives," he wasn't conning anybody. If Tony heard him say, "I'm a huge fan of Ira," you have to assume he listens to the Housewife podcast.
Well, the thing is, he told other people. He didn't tell Ira. So he played a fool around Ira. He was like, "Oh, I don't know who this person is."
But
to your
Ira's
point,
going-
Brad,
I
but to your
think-
point,
I
Brad,
think
that
Real
doesn't
Housewives
matter
fans
because
can-
you're the audience.
I
Like,
think
I
they can
understand.
smell
Yeah.
each other.
It's still
The audience, yeah, I'm the audience. None of that stuff was explained to me from an edited version. Jacob and I were talking, dumbest move I've ever seen on the floor. It took some balls. I'll say he had some stones to do it,
take. It's a
and
take.
I give him credit for that. Like he has a big set, and he did it.
I kind of wanted him. I know he might not have known anything. He might not have known crap about rodeo, but I really wanted him to harness that momentum and just knock Brian off his feet.
Oh, me
I don't
too.
think Brian knows rodeo at all. I guess we're gonna find out. But I would love to have seen him just run it.
Yeah, and
but
I think
it's
that's
okay.
what-
I think he's in a great spot. He's clearly feeling good. He had an awesome television moment. He makes for great TV. I enjoyed watching him.
But-
I just wasn't fooled, and that's okay. He fooled other people. I think that's
But Angie, Bradley, Tony, we talk about this all the time on this show. If you have a corner spot, your odds of winning $250,000 are dramatically higher.
Yep.
This guy had a time boost and a corner lot.
yeah. And he
He-
still went for it. Yeah.
But I
In
will say
a lot of
this.
ways, he's sitting better than Brian at this point if he
Yeah, I
stays
agree.
there.
I agree.
But
you just
Brad,
don't
and he
have
blew it.
$100,000.
But Brad, I will say this to Tony's point. If I look, everyone on the floor knew what categories I wanted. Every category I really wanted to death were on the right hand side of the floor. Cosplay, Star Trek, nerdy TV characters. But no one knew that about me because I'm the poetry guy. I'm the quiet corner poetry guy. And here I am, this giant nerd. If you told me I could have 3 duels, get a time boost, and then go to the floor or battle Star Trek where I know I can get, what did Gene say last episode? Currency of people, currency of time. I'm about to show out. I'm not going back to the floor.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that duel because now I'm going to regret it for my entire time that I'm on the floor because I know I would have won. And I would have solidified even more corner, more spaces. So I actually understood why Alex did it because he was a massive fan. Why would you turn down? I understand your thing with the time boost. We're on the same side with that.
I know we are.
But you're telling me while you're up there, you have the chance to battle what you view as the easiest category on the floor, and you're not gonna take it. I don't buy it.
And also, Alex even said, like, if anybody challenged Ira, or let's say Ira got bumped off prematurely and it was 2 people that didn't know Reality Housewives, that would have been a really boring duel. Because not a lot of people
Oh, so
know
many
all
people
those
would have
people.
passed.
Yeah.
So
Would've
many.
passed.
Wait.
Plenty
Hold-
of
It would have been a
Study off
snooze
like
fest
this.
without fans.
Hold on. I think we're missing something here. I'm pretty sure he could have dueled Housewives before as part of the trifecta he had. I'm pretty sure that was an option, and he didn't take
He
it.
wanted the time boost.
But he wanted
though.
the time boost because
He could have got the time boost on the third one challenging the Housewives.
No,
He
no.
wanted he used the time boost on the Housewives.
Right, Housewives was the 4th duel, so we needed to do the other 3 to get the time boost to verse Ira.
No. He could have gotten on the third duel the time boost and just sat in the corner with the time boost and not burned it on
I
something else.
understand what you're saying. You're saying don't use. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Let that be the third duel. Let
Yes.
the fanfare. You know what? There is an option B where that duel of earning the time boost
No,
could
I
have
think
been the
he felt like
fanfare.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. But
Jacob,
that's Tony's point, though. He needed it, though.
Yeah.
Jacob, host of TV Torture, texted me just now, and he said to you guys, to all of us, even with the reasons y'all are giving, still dumbest move ever.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. You know what? Let's move from that for a moment,
Okay.
just so we can get to the others. Because honestly,
Yeah.
Tony. Oh, Tony. Alex is
that
gonna light him
may,
up.
for some people, it may have been a dumb move.
Wait, is Alex gonna light me up?
Oh yeah, Alex is not gonna like anything.
Yeah,
you're
we'll have
talking
fun
about
next
right
week.
now.
Brad. You
Alex
gotta
is-
hold,
I-
keep them
I
down.
think
Tony,
he's really good at
Tony, should I call out for next week and not be on the show?
No.
I wouldn't. I would just be prepared. That's
Yeah,
all
be
I'm gonna
prepared.
say.
Keep some gas in the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bring,
I'll do
bring the
that.
jarts. You're gonna need the jarts next week.
Okay, I'll bring the jarts.
Okay, bring the jarts. I gotta say, gosh, I really don't. I don't throw shade at all. It's not in my nature.
Uh-oh.
But Duel 7. Could the editors have just cut the whole duel?
Wait, which one was that?
Like that was our space travel. That was
Oh,
Robin.
God.
Oh gosh.
That was Robin. I don't know how he got cast for the show. Sorry.
Old
Robin.
man, the
Oh,
old man.
Yes, the state quarters guy. I mean, state quarters.
He has about as much personality as
Thank you.
a log.
Thank
He
you.
is so
you know
boring.
what?
Say
I'm
nothing.
sure. I'm sure he's a lovely.
Sorry,
human.
Bradley. I can say this.
I'm sure he's an absolutely lovely human, and I know that television can do things to people. I was not compelled to watch. Let me put it that way. I think that's a much more diplomatic way of saying I'm not attacking him as a person or his character, but I was not compelled to watch him. It was a built-in bathroom break for me. I was
Yeah.
not compelled to watch the duel. Neither of the competitors showed me anything worth staying in the room for. And
me,
I am
that wasn't-
surprised. I am just surprised that somehow they got through central casting and were in a position to duel each other for what I would consider to be the slowest, snooziest duel in floor history. And yeah, there I said it. I went on record. Boom.
Wow.
Well, I will say,
Sorry, Bradley.
for me, I knew it was going to be boring.
I appreciate that.
I'm not really into space. So that was the time I was at a restaurant when I watched it. So that was the time I was like, talking to my friends, eating my food. But I knew it wasn't going to be. I mean, that's how I felt about Star Trek. No offense, Bradley. I'm not interested in
Well,
that.
Bradley's the
Well, so
nerd.
that-
Bradley,
right,
what did you think? You love
so,
space. Didn't
yeah.
that just suck for you?
Oh, watch this behind the scenes exclusive I'm about to give you right now.
Dude,
you want to
throw
know
down.
what? You want to know what for almost months leading up to the floor, what I was told and thought my category would be?
What's
Oh,
that?
please tell me space.
Space.
Oh.
I wore
so
I
good.
wore an astronaut button down to every audition I had. I thought it would be space. When I was given poetry, I went, okay, that's something I'm interested in. That's fine. And then I met the space travel guy who worked for Kennedy Spacer, and I went, okay, it's fair why I didn't get it. I only wanted space the entire time, but they gave it to the Kennedy guy. Then I watched the duel.
You would have
These are-
represented, Bradley.
Oh
You would have
my-
thrown down.
Yeah,
I didn't
you would.
pass once. I didn't pass one time. I knew every single thing. And I'm
Oh,
like,
that
that one
sucks.
should have been fun for me. The nerds everywhere would have loved me because I would have known everyone.
Yep.
You know how we always say, Tony, we did this a lot. You know how we always say, oh, I wouldn't have passed. I wouldn't have passed. I knew everyone. I knew Star Trek and space were the two I did not pass one time. And I'm so disappointed.
There's one duel that you will see that I still to this day I'm like, dang, I did not pass on any single one. I would have loved to do
Oh, yeah?
that one.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, to this day it's kicking me because there's a lot of passes.
Well, I can't wait till it comes on because I want to know what you're
Here's
talking
my
about.
thing, right? I think Bradley makes the point that I also wanted to make. There are some categories I don't really like. I don't care for. I don't have an affinity for. I can study them and memorize them and recognize them and recall them and probably compete well, but they're not my thing.
Yeah.
And math would be one of those, even basic multiplication. But I could care less about math, really, at all. But Tony and Shannon put on a show. Tony and Shannon made math cool
Fun.
for a
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, they did.
Tony
Yeah,
and
they-
Shannon made math look interesting
They
to
did.
viewers.
And Devin from our season said that was the most amount of correct answers.
Correct answers with
Yeah.
no passing.
But
But,
No
it was,
passing.
but you were compelled to watch it, even
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
could care two dingle dongs about math. Space, I actually do like space, Bradley. I'm a bit of a nerd myself.
You would have loved it if I had it. I
But
promise you.
that sucked.
I believe
It
you.
sucked.
I
It took a
promise
category.
you.
The category ended up tanking. It was in the space
Yeah.
toilet, and it was because the contestants had no no presence of any kind that made me want to root for either of them in any way. And then God bless Robin, he survived it. Great. And then almost before Rob could even, poke at him a little, he goes, I'm going back to the floor. And I'm like, okay, Robin, go take a nap on the floor. We'll see you next time when they wake you up. Because the guy looked like he'd been sleeping and the randomizer woke him and he's like, oh.
Maybe his defense, he was pooping. I mean, there's that.
It's possible.
You never
I'm
know.
sorry, Robin. I don't think Robin listens to this, and it's okay. And I really don't like to say things, but it could have been anybody. It just made it.
I like this. I like this Angie. She's throwing a little shade. But I want to ask you, Bradley, what would it be like if us four went to space together?
You would
I
have
need
to
my own
listen.
space toilet.
Yeah,
I would
you
need
have
my
to
own.
listen to me just babble on. Oh, look at that nebula. Look at that galaxy. Hey, Brad, did you know at 19? Like when we got to
I would like that.
Like when he saw Sputnik, for example, it's like every single one. Everybody in the bar were watching, yelling "toilet." Sputnik, you don't like Russia? And it's just the funniest thing because I'm screaming at the TV watching it. So for me, Angie, it was the category for me I really liked.
I would have
But to
loved
your
it, and you
point-
would have killed it. You would
Oh yeah,
He-
you'd be like, look at this
you
nerd.
would have killed it.
He paused too long on the moon. That was my problem. Like
For
he,
everything. And
noticed that-
honestly, if you're studying for that category, Tony, tell me I'm wrong. If I'm studying for that, and I would have memorized a list of top 6 astronauts, and I would have practiced saying them as fast as humanly possible. I would not have passed. I would not have gone like John Glenn, Neil Armstrong, pass.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what? Alan,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. Like, roll them off, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, Sally Ride, Sally Ride.
Really right.
Yeah,
He's like
no,
Kristen
that-
McAuliffe,
yeah.
and I'm like, look, I know they both had bad perms, but Kristen McAuliffe and Sally Ride, 2 completely different people, 2 completely compelling stories.
Was she in that? Did they show Kristen McAuliffe?
No, it was
No.
Sally Ride.
Sally
Well, I
Ride.
don't know. I
I
felt
was going to say, I only remember one female astronaut they showed.
They
Because
say Mae Jameson. I'm like, hello, man. Come on. Can we have some diversity, please?
they should have chose
Not just
the
white
Challenger.
Space. Sorry.
I find it really interesting though that Bradley, you didn't get picked for space for your category because I'm noticing like the producer. I guess casting really likes it when like girls choose more like academic stuff, and then like boys choose more like. I don't know what it
Yeah,
is.
I
Like
don't know what that
with
is.
Spark, I think he wanted electronics, and he ended up getting rom-coms, which he does know rom-coms. We were able to talk about it like the first day on the bus. Like he loves rom-coms.
Mm-hmm.
But like I remember I wanted like pop culture stuff. I wanted rom-coms. I wanted like TV show actors and actresses, and I was like, math too. I like math, and they're like, okay, we'll put you for math. I was like,
But then we
okay.
talked about this,
They
right?
like girls doing stuff like that.
Well, that too, and I think they like, and I'm gonna try to be really nice when I say this. They almost sometimes like people looking stupid on TV because everybody at home has this attitude where, well, you're an expert. How did you pass on cuticle trimmers? Aren't you an expert on toiletries? First of all, you sound stupid, and two, most of the people, it's not that we're an expert; it's that we just really enjoy this thing, and we think we're better at it than you.
Right.
But I
And
would
to be
never.
fair, your expertise was rarely chosen. If like
And
my
that's another
PhD
thing.
is in literature, I didn't get authors. I
Right.
didn't
So-
get literary.
so
I didn't get Shakespeare.
Exactly.
So
I
Tony's
didn't get
enlightening.
Shakespeare.
Tony's giving a tip to anyone that wants to be on the floor. So if you're a dude, you should go, well, I like girl talk. And then it's like, Brad, you're going to have girl talk. And I'm like, I don't know what girl talk is, but hey, man, I'll try.
Yeah, they shot down a lot of my pop culture stuff. Like, I wanted to do like TV show actors, actresses, stuff like that, and they were like, maybe, or like, but like every time I said something academic, they were like, oh, let's do that. Let's. So I found
You
that
need
really.
to be a guy, and you need to say that your category is period products,
Oh.
and you are
accurate.
going to rule that
Okay.
floor all day.
Yeah.
I'm just telling
But,
you. Plus, you'll be so woke, and all the girls are gonna want you because they're like, "Oh my god, he's so sensitive. He understands what a diva cup is." Oh my
That was
god,
me with
I love
poetry.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
guess-
I wanted to do my poetry duel so bad and make a whole thing where it's like, ladies, 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 but it didn't work because I lost deodorant and cotton swabs, like Q-tip sponsorship. But
Q-tip
Angie,
sponsor.
but Angie, to your point, I think sometimes maybe I'm not a casting director. They probably picked people and put them in categories because they thought some storyline would come of it. Like what better storyline is it to give the Kennedy Space Center guys space travel? You couldn't ask for better writing. And then to your point, what did you get? Right, so it's like maybe don't do that. Like,
Maybe not do that.
yeah, I don't know.
All right, so we got 2 duels left for the night. Let's get to them real quick. We got James His category is parades. I'm still interested to see that play out. And he took on Shane with oceanography again. Robin went back to the floor for his nap, and James was randomized. And James, picked on Shane and oceanography. There were some tougher ones like bioluminescence, but again, it cracked me up. Okay, I'm like, James, honey, I like you. You got a great suit, good hairline. You look really suave. But let me tell you something, son. You pick oceanography and the fish comes up, you can't say fish. Because, honey, it's going to be more specific than fish. Yeah. And the fact that he's like, fish. I'm like, oh my gosh, he didn't just say fish. He didn't get red snapper. He didn't get marlin. And it's like, oh, a tuna or like whatever. He didn't get him. And I was like, oh, poor guy. But that was okay to watch. It was a little bit like natural history, a little bit of a hodgepodge category, a little bit of something for everybody. It was kind of neutral for me. I don't know how you all felt. And I mean, we can come back to the last one because Shane went back. He went back to nap with Robin. They were next to each other.
Angie, can I ask you something real quick? Who is older, Virginia or was it Robin?
Robin. I don't know how old was Robin, guys. Do you remember?
Let's see.
74. Because
my competitor then. Because Virginia was
he's older than Virginia. She had way more energy than he did, and I kept making the joke that she was going to need to take a nap.
75.
Yeah.
Oh, 75.
You know what? I should look. Anybody can need a nap. It's not ageism. It's not ageism. There were plenty of young people who looked like they could use a good shot of a steroid in their butt too. Like,
well, no. Virginia even said, "I'm tired. I gotta go back. I'm tired."
Yeah.
She did. You're like, "I'm tired." Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait, no. The oldest was Mick from your season, Angie.
Was he more than 75 though?
Well, he was 75.
Mick was older than Virginia?
Yeah, he was older than Virginia, but I think he was 75, 74, 75.
Dang.
Okay.
The oldest is 59. What?
No, they were like, we can't have any old people here.
Dude, I'm going to be on the floor senior edition. I'm getting close.
Senior.
You're going to be on the senior circuit, Angie.
You know what? I was at the gym the other day, and somebody asked me how my workout was going. I was like, oh, it's going really well. I'm training. And they're like, really? What are you training for? I go, the Olympics. And they're like, they looked at me and didn't laugh. But you could tell they were confused. And I said, the Senior Olympics. And they were like, okay. Like, that's my thing now. Just like also like when I look like I'm a little puffy, I'm like, well, I just had a baby. And people are like, oh my God. And I'll be like 18 years ago. Like, I'm still working on losing the baby weight.
Oh my God.
Anywhoozy, Clarion.
What's the last duel?
Boy bands. Clarion gets picked by the randomizer because, shocker, Shane went back to the floor. And he takes on Steven, Mr. I'm going to wear my chef coat and try to intimidate the heck out of everybody. And I will tell you right now, I was on the edge of my seat going, Clarion, take him down. And they were going head to head. And then Clarion kind of lost it. And I was like, oh, but that was a good one to end on, I thought. I really kind of wanted Steven to get a little comeuppance. He seemed a little cocky. And Clarion, I think.
Oh, when you wear your uniform, you need to be humbled. I mean, that's the if I'm Chef Boyardee and I got the chef hat, Bradley, I want you to bring it.
Yeah. Wait, Tony, were you gonna bring up the coach?
Yes, he keeps mentioning his coach. He's like, I'm listening to my coach, and I'm.
What's his coach thing?
You know who his coach? You know who it is.
What is it?
Yeah, his husband, right?
His husband. Yeah.
Yeah, his husband's his coach. Yeah.
I don't.
Who's the coach?
Who's your coach?
Who's coaching him for what?
I don't know. It's a secret sauce. I don't know. Chef. It's a
secret sauce. Wait, I'm confused.
Ingredient.
So Chef Steven had mentioned a couple of times he was listening to his coach and making his moves, his strategy. That's the thing, by the way. You can have like a pissant-sized strategy. Your strategy goes nowhere as soon as that randomizer takes hold, and things shift all day, every day. So that cracks me up. It's like, this is how I planned it. I'm like, okay. You amazing Kreskin and your silver, crystal ball. Yeah. You didn't see diddly squat. You're just running like everybody else. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, so Chef Steven has a coach?
Yes, but we don't know what that coach is. So he says
it. Yeah, so he labels it that he has a coach. He thanked his coach one time a few episodes ago, I believe. He thanked his coach next to Rob.
This is his second duel he won, right?
Yes.
The second one he won. Yeah.
And you said the coach is his husband?
I think. This is speculation and rumor.
Well, that's what we're all about here. That's it.
We don't want to out a guy if he's not gay, so
yeah. Gosh, I sure hope he is. I didn't want to out him on our
Angie, did you just out him?
I didn't. Bradley did.
No,
Bradley?
No. Me, it was a joke. That's speculation.
Tony said.
No, I didn't say husband. I trying to not out anybody.
I'm not on the show.
Can we
Can't
all
say it. I don't
agree-
know.
Can we all agree that we weren't at all surprised that Brian O'Halloran, because the show is also called Just Give Brian Money, has now $100,000 in his pocket? And here, I'm going to say the biggest letdown outside of the space travel duel for me was when Rob says, I'm going to do something I've never done before. And I'm going, yes, please tell me you're going to let any contestant challenge Brian? You're going to go down and duel Brian. Something's going to happen and it's exciting. And he said,
Rob would lose.
Brian, could you say activate the randomizer?
Oh my gosh, that was so dumb.
We
I'm
were
like,
all
oh my
upset
gosh,
about
writers,
that.
please. There's no writer's strike right now. You couldn't have come up with something better. That was back. I'm like, come on. Rob Lowe is
Yeah.
more clever than that. I think he could have come up with some kind of spin. I
mean,
didn't
I
think
think-
that was exciting at all.
Do you think Rob Lowe went backstage and started throwing things at writers, going, "Why would you make me say this crap?
Yes.
I should be back on
Yes.
Parks and Rec. This is
Yes.
ridiculous. I got to go do some Rescue 911."
Oh, he's fun though. He gets a little feisty. Like in our
Yeah,
season,
I mean,
when we
he
had
did. I'm not even gonna lie.
he was
He
feisty.
did.
We
Yeah,
had the
he
wrestlers,
did.
our wrestlers category, and he said, "Let's get ready to rumble." And then producers told him he couldn't say that because
Yeah,
it's
it's
copyrighted.
copyrighted.
And he's like,
Oh.
he didn't say it's BS, but he's pretty came close to it. And he's like, "Are you kidding? Are you freaking kidding me?" And then it was a joke. We all kept saying, "Let's get ready to fumble. Let's get ready to crumble." Like we just came up with all these other versions because he couldn't say what he wanted to say because apparently it's copywritten by the WWE or whatever. But
Could he
Yeah,
not say,
I was
"We're
like-
about to be rumbling"?
I will say, I think because season 3 was the second season that he filmed, that short amount of time.
Yes.
He had a lot less patience for like technical difficulties.
oh,
So you could
spill
hear
the
some of
tea,
that.
Tony. Do tell. Give us one
Oh.
quick
You
story
could
to
hear
close
some of
this
that
out.
in the background. I mean, I was in the far back, so I couldn't really hear exactly what he was saying, but the people in the front were like, yeah, he didn't really have some nice things to say.
Not at all.
No,
Not at all.
was it? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like,
So-
look, I get it. So, a
Yeah,
little.
I
He was-
understand.
I got
he,
it a
um,
little.
I don't. Here's the thing.
He was
Did y'all have?
professional the whole time? Very professional.
Did y'all happen to see Vanna White say she works 31 days a year to make every episode of Wheel of Fortune for the year?
I missed that. No, and
No.
is
Look
she
it up.
retiring?
That's like 31 or 34 days. It's all she works in a year. So Rob Lowe is putting in like 9 days a season. That's pretty good. I'll put up with some technical difficulties to cash those checks.
Well, Lamar,
But then also he's filming his show.
right,
like,
his
the
other
Lone
projects.
Star.
Vanna got one project. She should just be working 31 and then go home. Rob working every day. What you mean?
I'm imagining. I do want to imagine Rob losing it in the back, screaming at writers. How could this be? Oh my god! Oh,
He could get feisty, but he was professional and he was pretty cool. He was pretty collected. I don't know what else he's doing right now, but I think Lone Star 911, or 911 Lone Star, I think was canceled, right? And then I don't know about
Yeah.
his vehicle with his son. He was filming that during our season.
that got canceled.
Yeah, so maybe he's
maybe
got
he's
more
working
projects
31
he's working
days.
on.
Maybe he's freed up like Vanna. But I want to say here's a category I want to see eventually. Podcast. There's enough big name podcasts that you could show a logo and go, "Oh, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Oh, Adam Carolla. Oh,
Yeah, Tom.
Reality Check. Oh, Reality Redux. Boom."
Better
chicken
show
soup.
that.
Hey,
Yeah.
the lowdown with Rob Lowe. He's got his own
Yeah.
podcast. I want to see a Rob.
Wait,
I wanna
Rob
see a
Lowe has his own
category.
podcast?
Oh yeah,
Rob
it's pretty
Lowe?
good. Yeah, I want to see the Rob Lowe category. There's enough out there. He's got an oeuvre
Rob.
that is worth poking into. I bet we'll see that on the they like, I don't know, All-Star reunion, blah blah, whatever thing they
Yeah.
might end up doing down the line. That would be a fun category, though. I have to
I
say
hope
that
so.
and 4 contestants. I'm still thinking that would be
Yes.
pretty great.
Yeah.
Yes, Brad right now is subscribing to the Lowdown. You can call the Lowdown line, Brad.
Look at
Yes,
that.
I told you. I know you.
Literally, no, the lowdown. No, Angie, you're wrong. It's literally the lowdown is the people, the rivals of our show.
Yes,
the
but
Lowdown,
if you
yeah.
go to literally with Rob Lowe,
Literally?
he had something called the Lowdown line where you call it and you
Oh.
suggest to him what you want to be on the podcast. So you're right. I conflated the two, but there
Ooh,
is
I like that.
crossover. I do too.
You said we weren't going to promote the other one, and you just did.
Son of a nutcracker. Okay, I'm gonna try. I will do better next time. I tried. I'm a work in progress.
Can I ask one thing about Tony's favorite podcast that we don't talk about on here? Those
So she
three.
wasn't talking about this one. She was talking about the other one the whole time.
We found out Tony's favorite is the other one now because she has to
I
support
said I have
season
love
3.
for everybody. I don't pick favorites.
I love how
Yeah, she's Switzerland apparently.
you got to pick a side, Bradley.
Side.
Bradley, you've been on this show twice. You can come on every week. I like you. You come on here anytime you want. So I hope we're your favorite. Tony,
you are.
thank
I
you.
don't give it to everyone.
Thank you. I like that. Yeah, you can make it. Tony, you know we're your favorite. You just wink if we're your favorite.
I
Tony.
can't say.
Oh.
I brag about you to my wife. I'm like, Tony listens. My wife's like, nobody. I'm like, Tony listens.
Okay, wait,
said no
Tony,
one
are
does.
you on Reddit? You are, yes?
I am, unfortunately, yes.
I am on Reddit. I do not participate in the subreddit for the floor. I'm a longtime lurker, never poster. I just don't get involved.
I post
lurker.
sometimes.
I don't get involved. But I'm trying to figure out who that fun 1818 person is.
I thought it was
They
somebody
said they
because
listened
there are a few people that like are from our season who like anonymously post, but then I'll check their other posts. I'm like, oh, I know this is this person. I know this is
because
that
they
person.
said they listened to the podcast last week.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, the only person I know who listens is Jacob, and he's not that guy, Brad.
Oh.
Jacob doesn't Reddit. Trust me.
Jacob doesn't Reddit, and I don't.
This is
get it.
Jacob's Reddit. Getting on podcast. That's his
So
Reddit.
anyway, if you can do some, if you're listening, podcast listener, thank you, thank you.
Listener.
We hope you continue to tune in.
Podcast listener.
Amazing recap episodes.
My wife's like, I hear you enough at home. I'm not listening to any podcast you do. She just refuses.
My family's the same way. My
Yeah.
partner Mike's like, honey, no, I'm not listening. I'm like, I can get you the transcript, and he's like, are you for real?
That is hilarious.
Anyway,
Oh,
well,
man.
we're right at about time. I guess we
Yeah.
should wrap it up for our listener. It might be past his bedtime. Maybe our listener is Robin. Maybe Robin is Robin. if
Oh
you're
my gosh.
out there, honey.
Robin is in the
Wait.
bed right now. Trust me.
You know, he's going to defend. His next thing will be to defend state quarters. That will be the next time we see him.
Oh my
because
gosh,
he
that's
can't be
such a-
randomized until that happens.
So
and I'm
lucky.
really excited to see that happen for him. I think he's going to nail it. Until then, until we get a chance, gosh, wouldn't it be cool to get him on the podcast? Robin, if you're listening.
Tony was gonna say. What was you gonna say, Tony?
Oh, I'll say before we go, Brad. Oh, all of you guys, who are you rooting for besides me to win?
Well, you know I'm rooting. I'm personally rooting for Alex. You know that's my guy. Like I'm rooting for him for life. So root for him.
I'm like interested into thinking like
I'm rooting for my floor twin.
Gonna win.
Arbitrarily, I'm rooting for my
What?
floor twin.
Laurel?
Laurel.
No, she bailed on us tonight, so
Yeah,
she's
but
not.
I'm
She's
I have a-
unrootable.
I
I'm
have
sorry.
I have a forgiving
I'm petty.
heart.
I'm a petty dude.
I have a forgiving heart. That's why we balance each other. You're petty and I'm pretty.
I am rooting for Tony
I said
because
besides me.
besides you.
Obviously choose me.
Oh my gosh,
And it can't be me because I lost.
you would have been my second.
Thank you.
I'm rooting for. You're gonna get mad when I say this, but I'm rooting for Brian.
I want Brian to take home
So you want him to have
I want Brian to
100K
take home-
plus 250?
$400,000.
Oh,
That's what I want.
ridiculous.
What if he makes
Sham.
more? What if he makes more money just sitting there than the winner does at 250?
Oh, he will. I think it'd be great. You know what? I'll take that. I am voting for my floor twin because solidarity. But I thought Megan was pretty good. I thought she had a great run. She went back to her corner. I think she's going to be there for a while. So
Is she coming on? Is she gonna come on the show or what?
If she's listening, she has not responded to my. She has not accepted my friend
She's
request.
ghosting.
On
Okay,
Instagram.
let me. My favorite is what's her name? That's very good at natural history, but she unfortunately lost to Brian.
Wait. Natural history.
Or not natural.
Really is, Alex.
She's a tour guide in Chicago.
Oh,
Madeline!
Madeline.
Just kidding.
poor Madeline. Bradley, who do you predict, Bradley?
Who do I predict?
Yeah.
I think so. Even though everyone knows I have a bias for Alex, I think anyone up there that has the gonads to do what he did and then have fun with it, and then can say he's one of only a few people to earn a time boost the whole season. I just think Alex has what it takes. Like that's what I'm
Well,
actually.
a lot of
rooting
people
for.
have earned the time boost this season, though.
No, only like.
No,
Wait, am I wrong? That
Tony,
was only like 3 or 4 people that have earned
Tony,
it.
Brian, Alex,
Megan,
Logan.
There can't be a lot of people because
Megan.
everyone goes back to the floor.
Right, that's just 5 people out of 100.
Yeah,
Right.
but on our season there were only
Yeah.
like 2.
Well, yeah, y'all
Oh.
tweaked it.
And
We
you got
perfected
5.
it.
You got 5 by
But-
episode 6. I think we had 2, maybe 3 by the end of our season.
Right,
That's
but it
a
should've-
lot by comparison.
But
I
it
do
should've-
want to.
Oh no, go ahead, Brett.
No, I do want to add that if I had to pick a third, I think I want Alex. I would go Alex. I was brutal to him tonight, but I still like that he had the stones to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I give him that. What was you gonna
4
say?
duels in a row. That's crazy.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it would have been more than 5 people if, I call this like the scariest season of floor history, because again, the whole that kind of solidifies our argument about the time boost not being enough, because if it was enough, what would happen? People would stop going back to the floor. So the fact that they are, it's not enough. So
Yeah,
I
not
just
enough.
think that we would have like 15 people with time boosts if every single person who just dueled 3 times. I mean, how many people have we had duel already? I mean, what, 40 some odd people? And
It's a
only
lot.
like 6 have stayed up there more than one duel. Like, come on, the time wasn't enough. So
Hey,
that's-
Bradley.
I agree with that.
In your WhatsApp chats with all your floor friends, you need to pitch the pass and see what they say.
Dude,
We've
we're
all
pitching the past.
already talked about it. The consensus is the time boost isn't enough. There's a few people who
No,
like it, but
Pitch the pass that we talked about last week, where you
the
can
pass.
pass on not having to go against that. I don't have to go against Housewives because I don't, or the Beyonce category. I would be dead in
a
the water
block.
on Beyonce.
Maybe a
Yeah.
block, or you're
should-
blocking
should
a
ha-
category.
Yeah.
I still think getting paid per win is the only way to keep people going. I think
Angie,
it would be the
I
easiest
agree.
way.
Then it becomes who
I
wants to
think
be
that you
meaner.
should.
Yeah.
I think you should have a defense and an offensive strategy on how you want people to stay on the floor. If you want it to be offense, pay them more money. For every duel you do, we'll like $5,000, and then it'll go to $7,500. Then it'll be $10,000. Who cares? Or do the defensive strategy. Give it a block. Get
Yep.
2 blocks. Like, who cares?
100%.
Or an extra min. So when people like me lose, maybe I've banked an extra min. I get to stay on the floor. If I lose a duel, I get to stay. I don't have to go home. I get 1 free.
Yeah,
life.
I like
Even
that too.
That would be
Life.
awesome.
So,
Yeah, get
Bradley,
like an
when are
extra
we
life.
going to produce our own game show? Because what I'm hearing is that I think we've all got fabulous ideas, and we should just launch out our own thing, and we could get it sponsored by Q-Tip, Quat and Swat. I think that would be
I
great.
want the Q-Tip sponsorship so badly.
I will
And
give
we
you
can
one
get
to do.
Robin. We can get Robin to be our host.
100%. All right. Well, on that note, I think I can speak for Brad and say, Tony and Bradley, you're welcome back anytime. It was really fun. I'm glad we got to hear more from you this week. I know our listeners were excited to get to know you better, as was I. Thanks for being so communicative and fans of the show. And Brad, as always, thanks for giving me this platform and opportunity to explore pods. And I hope people will continue to listen. Everybody, have a fantastic week ahead, and we'll see you next week for recapping episode 7.
See you later, guys.
All
Bye.
right. Stay on just a second for a minute. Let me make sure you've uploaded. Okay, guys. Thank you. This was so much fun. Like,
Yes.
I'm really getting to know you guys better, and I think we're jiving.